Okay, Itam existe good day. It is just about 11 o'clock in the AM on Wednesday, May 8th, 2019, in the lunar cycle Matsi Kapisaki some the frog moon. And my day is off to kind of a late start. Been running errands all morning and such, and haven't really got to work down at the fort where I need to be. And I just got down there actually when I received a message from the Riverstone area. Someone just come across a rattlesnake that looks like it's been killed, maybe run over by a bicycle or something on the path behind the houses at Riverstone. So I'm gonna go fetch that snake, get it out of the path. It is kind of warming up this morning, so maybe we'll get more snake calls today, but certainly we're coming into the season, and which is good. Start seeing more frequent videos from me, that's for sure. But in any case, I'll let you follow me through the day, show you what's happening. Let's go get that snake. Coming up on him now, but you know, imagine you were riding a bike out here. Do you see a snake? I don't see a snake yet. I don't see a snake yet, and I'm just walking. Now it looks like a snake, but if I'm riding a bike, I'm already over this thing. Poor little guy. So, looks like a young of the year, as they're called, which means he was born last fall, and this would have been his first summer foray. Came out here on the path and got whopped. Sorry, guy. So I'm gonna take him off the path here. And just bring him out. Maybe out here by this wood. And the decomposers will take care of him. Anyway, thinking while we're here in Riverstone, might as well go check out one of the den sites, see what's shaking. Just noting on my hike down the coulee slope the abundance of this musineon that's out. Now we got 3 different kind of forms of this wild parsley here in the Lethbridge area, and one of them seems to proliferate here in Riverstone. It's a wild parsley. If you eat the leaf, you know, you'll taste it's got this yellow kind of umbrella flower very close to the ground. You eat the leaf, you'll get that parsley taste, which is good in itself, you know, has that parsley just like store-bought parsley taste to it. So it's a nice garnish and a nice little green to add to salads in general. But in addition to that, the root is something worth collecting. So if I had typically I would use a crowbar as my modern day, you know, digging stick, but all I got with me right now is my pocket knife. But I'll still see if I can get a chunk of the root to show you. It's a nice kind of starchy white root. Doesn't have a lot of flavor to it, but that's how a lot of the, you know, good edible, so-called good edible roots are out here, you know. Like probably the most flavor is our wild carrot, but we don't have much of that in Lethbridge. It's pretty hard to work prairie roots, except for maybe wild onion, with a pocket knife, because prairie roots tend to go deep. Especially the kind of the tubers and stuff that I'd be after. But here I'll just pop out a section of it. You can take a look. Yeah, I'll probably come out digging one of these days, maybe this weekend, in the coulees for some of this stuff. Show you up close. Look at it. So, little bulb of a root there, and if you open it up, it's just a nice, white starchy root. You can eat it just straight, just like this. Is pretty bland, doesn't have a lot to it. Or of course, you can take it, cut it up into coins, or dry it as it is, and then grate it with a cheese grater into a powder. Use it to thicken soups. You can just slice it up as coins and add it to soups, that kind of thing. It's just this added carb, to the diet. It's an important energy source, and there's lots of them out here right now. You find them on the kind of the coulee ridges, the tops where all the animal trails are, animal/people trails, and yeah, they're pretty tasty. Well, as far as our roots go, they ain't bad, and the leaves got that distinct parsley taste. Of course, if you're out here collecting musineon leaves and roots, you're definitely going to want to maintain a snake awareness, especially right now, because the snakes are migrating away from the den sites, and your chances of encountering a snake on one of these coulee ridges is pretty high right now, especially on the west side of the river if you're in Lethbridge. So definitely keep your eyes open. I'm going to walk down here and check out one of the snake dens, see what's shaking, and I'll show you what's going on there. Only one snake on the scene today, and my suspicion is that that's a pregnant female who's going to stay right there. That site is also used as a rookery. I'm pretty sure she'll stay right there through the summer, and that'll be the place where she gives birth in the fall. So otherwise, I think I'd see another number of other snakes, at the site, which means that they are on the move, right? There's not a whole big congregation at the den site, so my suspicion is the snakes are off and running, and this is why I'm starting to get the calls. Right now I'm going to head back over to Indian Battle Park, Fort Whoop-Up area. I'm meeting a news crew there. They are excited to report about the fact that the snakes are leaving the dens, so we'll go do that and see what happens from there. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm just coming up the slope now, and I've run into a pretty good sized female rattlesnake who wasn't even here 10 minutes ago when I came down. You can see I'm going to pass right by her here. She's not really interested in striking me. She just wants to be left alone. If I give her enough space, can walk right by. I'm only giving her, 3 feet or so, 3-4 feet, maybe 5 feet. But yeah, you give a snake its space, there's no danger. People, sometimes hear the snake hiss, or when they snap to attention, when they realize they've been seen, and they snap to and they start rattling and they're hissing. And a lot of people will tell me the snake was, lunging at them and trying to attack them. I've worked with who knows how many rattlesnakes at this point, and they don't do that. So it's somebody just in such a fear moment in their mind that they're perceiving things differently than how they actually are. And you just give if you see the snake at that point, all the danger should be done. Because once you've observed it, once you know where it is and you can see it, there's absolutely no reason for you to get within strike distance of that snake, which is its body length. And typically with a rattlesnake, I would have had to really reach out and touch that snake to get bitten. So if you get bitten, most of the time, 99% of the time, it's your fault. And out here on the coulee slopes, for the next couple of weeks, you better be on the alert.
Okay, you can take one step this way. Yeah. Perfect. Nice. Cool, and I'll just get you to say and spell your name.
Sure, my name is Ryan Heavyhead, RyanHeavyhead.
And so, are there many rattlesnakes around this area?
Around the coulees and Lethbridge in general? Yeah. Yeah, my estimates are there's probably between 600 and 800 rattlesnakes in the city limits. Alright, so I'm back here at the fort now. Just came down and did a quick interview with CTV, and gonna see if I got time to help throw up this second teepee that's fallen down. We'll see. I don't got too much time left, I think, before I've only got 40 minutes before my walk and talk, so probably won't get that done. Don't know what I'll get done here today. I think I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow, but we'll see what the next move is. Quite the scene down here at Teepee today. Turtles all lined up on the logs and geese doing their thing. I think within a couple of days here, we're probably going to see the first goslings and that appear. Down here at Teepee, because on my calendar I had a 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock professional development with some city workers set out. But I hadn't checked my email for a few hours, and it turns out a few hours ago I received notification that the session was over, that it was canceled because there just wasn't a number of the participants who were slated to come were having to back out for one reason or another, so they just thought they would postpone and do it again. So I'm probably going to be heading back to the fort, see what else I can get done this afternoon. But since I'm out here, I figured I would make a donation. I've been driving around for 3 days with this 12-piece, is it 12-piece? 9-piece chicken, slightly barbecued chicken that I bought from Save On Food. And when I bought it 3 days ago, it was $3 off. And when meats hit $3 off for a package of, for around about $10 to $15 package of meat, when it gets to about $3 off, it's come into that final category, right? I rarely buy meat at the full price. I'm always buying it at some kind of discount. Either it's on sale or it's getting to the best eaten by date, it's getting to the recommended official date, and so they might mark it down $1, $2 for the package, mark it down. And then but a lot of times when I buy it is when it's going to hit that $3, $4 off mark, and that is, then the sticker changes, right? It's not best eaten by, it's like enjoy this meal tonight, right? Because we're at the deadline. After this, we can't legally sell this meat, right? So that's when I buy it, and I always figure with my gut, it's gonna go another, if I'm careful with it, it's gonna go another 4 or 5 days, right? I could even throw it in the freezer and make it last as long as I want. But this piece I wasn't, this little kit I wasn't careful with. I had it in my Jeep. It's been warming and cooling and warming and cooling, and the thing gets sweaty inside, and the meat's all kind of like wet and moist. And I think today's piece that I ate this afternoon, that's probably the last of it that I want to eat. Like I've got a pretty good gut, but I think it's time for this stuff to go. So I'm down here already. I know that the magpies right now are laying their eggs and stuff, and so they're in need of whatever nutrition they can get. So I figure I'll make a donation and leave some of this chicken about here real quick before I head back to the fort. Back here at the fort, and just going to try to make a little bit of progress today, even though most of my energy got sidetracked in other things. But I do have something that I can do with these travel, which I'll tell you about. But first of all, when I arrived here, I noticed that in my absence today, they have set up the second teepee, and I was too busy to help with that, running around, unfortunately, because looking at things, just first of all, you can look at the difference between that one that they set up today and mine that was set up 2 years ago. This one's just such a narrow base to start with. It wouldn't have that narrow of a base, so that's a problem. But that's a problem that can maybe I can kind of fix here if I move things out a little bit. But I'm pretty concerned that this is just going to come down. The way that the poles are laid in, they're not even set in the right pattern. So I think maybe these guys, they did it today in haste, because I know that they're putting up another teepee inside the fort compound, which we can go look at that actually. Won't worry about it, but yeah, this is not set up well. Probably will fix that. I don't know if I'll fix it today, but it's gonna need fixing. It'd be nice if I had one guy here to help me so we could take poles up and down. So yeah, there's that. And I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything, it's just that thing's gonna fall down. So what I'm gonna do with these travois is, there's a big concern that mice are just gonna, and I raised this concern, that mice are just gonna eat this rawhide, and it's a serious concern. They can run right up these poles. The mice that we have here, the deer mice, are arboreal. They'll run right up these poles and eat the heck out of this stuff and love it. So how to deter mice, and a couple of things that I come up with. The one that I come up with, just my own, was to take some Elmer's glue. So I bought, just some plain old Elmer's school glue, and I'm just gonna kind of run it along, you know, each of these seams. Just beat it along each of those seams so that they're stuck to the wood at those, you know, maybe 10-inch increments. And that way, if a mouse does happen to chew through one of the straps, the whole thing's not going to just unravel, you know. It's going to be stuck to the wood at these increments. So that's one thing I'm going to do. And then the museum director and some of her curatorial staff suggested put in a kind of a latex spray or fixative, just an artist fixative all over it as a deterrent to the mice. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to first glue and then spray some fixative on there, and we'll see how they hold up in the long run. But yeah, get this work done, and then probably next stop is going to be Mahoney's house. Charlie. Peeking on Charlie here, who recently shed his skin, and he's kind of back there in the shadows. And I don't know if you can see, but he's still got skin on his tail. He hasn't popped that skin off of his tail. And I've been tempted to kind of roll it back for him so I could watch the new button develop, but haven't done that yet. Hey, Charlie. Alright, I'll leave you alone. Yeah, so just stopped in briefly there at Mahoney's house. Brought a big bag of puppy kibble, checked on Charlie, looked at the other animals, joked around a little bit with Mahoney, and then I had to come over and grab William from his school. He goes to an after school program, but it's almost 6 o'clock now and it's time for everybody to go home. I was going to bring him over to try to reset those teepee poles on that second lodge, but it's getting cold. There's a storm front coming, and it's probably going to get wet. So with the kind of the wind and the wet, I don't think it's good to be out there working with a 6-year-old. So probably going to lock ourselves indoors for the evening, which is all right. I don't expect another snake call with the kind of the cold coming on here for the evening. So this is probably going to be a wrap. And I'm gonna be trying to make a video now, every day, every other day as I get into the season here, and get things rolling again. I could really use some of the revenue that I was getting from Google, last summer when I was producing videos regularly. So everybody that's watching, you guys just know that you're helping me in that respect. So if you like my videos and you watch them regularly, maybe copy the links to them and share them some places where you think other people might like them or something like that. Help me find some other people that are interested in watching, because every view helps. Any case, yeah, we'll call that a wrap and see what happens tomorrow.